Hello everybody. Today I wanted to make a video showing how we part out and package our rabbits. Last weekend I processed 2 grow outs and they have been resting in the refrigerator since then. One of the first things that I work through is the organ meats and the belly flaps. We do not eat these ourselves. I dehydrate the organ meats for our dog. Here I'm slicing up the kidneys, the livers, and the belly flaps. Many people say rabbit liver is one of the best tasting of the livers. I'm still not a big fan. Maybe one day I'll get a freeze dryer and encapsulate liver powder on my own, but that's far down the road. I use a pair of kitchen shears to slice the belly flaps into small pieces. I'm not a big fan of rabbit jerky using the belly flaps. So in order to not waste any of the rabbit, these get dehydrated and turned into dog treats. Moving on to the whole rabbit. First going to remove a little extra fat off the shoulders. Locate that shoulder blade and remove the front legs. They're pretty simple to remove. The front legs are attached by tendons and not attached by a joint. Then moving on to the rear legs. Fairly simple to remove most of the time. I did struggle getting the second leg off. I had just not placed my cuts exactly in the right spot originally. Once the rear legs are removed, I will remove the tailbone and the pelvis. That will be set aside for the broth bag later. Then I will remove the saddle, separate that from the rib cage. That will also go in the broth bag. And that saddle is a beautiful chunk of meat. On to the second rabbit, again, removing the front legs. Then the back legs. That pelvis bone came off with that one, so I had to cut that off. Separate that tailbone. Then separate the saddle from the rib cage again. And rabbit number 2 is done. I have a broth bag that is in my freezer where I collect all my scraps. I did struggle getting this bag closed again. But those will be used at a later time to make rabbit broth. A quick wipe down of my cutting board. And we'll move on to packaging up all the parts. I have my vacuum sealer over there to the left. The first package I'll put together is the front legs. You don't always get a clean cut around the bones where you remove the feet, and those sharp bones can puncture the vacuum sealer bags. So I wrap those sharp bone ends with a little bit of a paper towel. And all those little wingies can go into one bag. Front legs can be treated and prepared just like you would chicken wings. Date and label the contents of your bag. Next, I am packing up the saddles, and I decided to do them long ways. And my plan is to prepare these 2 at a time. So I packed them both into one bag. Moving on to the back legs, these are a little harder to prepare simply because there's so much hair that likes to stick on the skin of the rabbit. The rabbits that I processed were a mix of American chinchilla and silver fox, and they had retained the black fur color of the silver fox. They also have a longer hair shaft, so that hair sometimes is a little difficult to get off. I plucked some of it off and then also wiped down each piece with a dry paper towel to get off as much as I could. When I go to prepare these for cooking, I will remove any that I missed. Cleaning off the back legs. The rear feet are easier to remove than the front feet, and thankfully these 2 came off easily. So there was a rounded end of the bone, and I did not have to worry about the bone puncturing the bag. There we have all our packages. I got the scale out and weighed them just to see how much came off the rabbits. These were young rabbits, approximately 12 weeks old. And there's our plate of organ meats going to the dehydrator. These will dehydrate for about 18 hours at 145 degrees. We end up with a perfect little dog treat that I store in the refrigerator in a Ziploc bag. There's the heart on the left, the belly flap, the liver, and the kidney. I hope this video was educational. Please follow for more.